Good morning, students. Myself, Major Komal Khatyal, Department of Zoology, GK Gwani Government College, Bhinmar. Today, we will discuss about the classification of phylum Platyhelminthes. आज हम बात करेंगे चपटे कृमियों के वर्गीकरण के बारे में. Traditionally, we have classified the phylum Platyhelminthes into four classes. The class Turbellaria, which includes the free-living planarians and marine flatworms. The second one, the class Trematoda, which means the fluids, especially the internal fluids. Class Monogenea, which includes the external parasite, the external fluids. Class Cestoda, which includes tapeworms. And all these three classes from Trematoda, Monogenea and Cestoda, they are all parasitic. Except Monogenea, the two members of the two classes are endoparasite. The word Trematoda is a misnomer. Trema means whole and oida means bearing. So those animals which have holes, is actually this term was mistaken for the suckers they bear. The two suckers they have, the oral or the anterior sucker and acetabulum, and the ventral sucker is present in the trematodes. Now let us discuss about the classes one by one. First, the turbellarians. The most common example is Dugesia. They are usually non-parasitic, free-living worms. The body is unsegmented, flattened and covered with ciliated epidermis. The mouth is ventral, intestine preceded by a muscular pharynx. Suckers absent, tango, chemo or photoreceptors are common in the free-living forms and they are mostly hermaphrodite. Development is usually डायरेक्ट. जो टर्बिलेरिया वर्ग के जंतु हैं वो अधिकतर क्या होते हैं, स्वतंत्र जीवी होते हैं, स्वच्छ जल या समुद्रवासी होते हैं. उनका शरीर खंडित नहीं होता है, खंडी भवन अनुपस्थित होता है, चपटे होते हैं और शरीर के चारों तरफ पक्षमाभयुक्त अधिचर्म पाई जाती. जो मुख है वो अधरी होता है और जो आंत है, आंत से पूर्व मतलब मुख के पश्चात उसमें एक ग्रसनी होती है जो बहुत अधिक पेशीय होती है. चूषक या चूषकांग का इनमें अभाव होता है, पर टैंगो, कीमो एंड फोटोरिसेप्टर्स मतलब जो टच और रसायन, कीमो मतलब रसायन से, और प्रकाश संवेदी अंग इनमें पाए जाते हैं. अधिकतर ये उभयलिंगी होते हैं और इनमें जो परिवर्धन है वो हमेशा क्या होता है, प्रत्यक्ष होता है. लार्वा अवस्था इनके अंदर नहीं पाई जाती. सबसे कॉमन जो एग्जाम्पल है वो है प्लेनेरियंस का. एक यहाँ पे डायग्राम मैंने दिया हुआ है डुजेसिया का. This is the general anatomy of a turbellarian. As you can see, the centermost portion, the gut portion where pharynx with pharyngeal muscles are shown. The circular muscle is there, epidermis. Below the epidermis are the longitudinal muscle, and then below the epidermis are the circular muscle, then the longitudinal muscles. Apart from it, the rhabdites are also present. The parenchymatous tissue is there, and nerve in the form of nerve cord is also there. As far as the internal organ system is concerned, you can see the various organ system of the turbellarians. Most important is the presence of flame cells with tube. You can see in the topmost left there is a flame cell with its nucleus and the flagella forming the flame, and the last portion which is the tube of the tubule. The other system includes the presence of a reproductive system which includes the ovary, oviduct, Then the presence of vagina and genital pore. Apart from it, the vital area is there in the case of female reproductive structure. As far as the male reproductive structure are concerned, the testes with vas deferens, the ejaculatory portion which includes the copulatory organ in the form of penis, and there is genital opening in the form of genital pore. The organ system also includes the intestine, which is here is trifurcated. Then there is presence of a simple nervous system with two cerebral ganglia and two lateral longitudinal nerve cords which are interconnected with each other due to presence of transverse nerve. यह जो स्लाइड है इसमें आपको आहार नाल जो 3 भागों में विभाजित हो रही है दिखाई दे रही है, ग्रसनी दिखाई दे रही है, और जो आहार नाल का भाग है वहां पर क्या है, डाइवर्टिकुला पाए जाते हैं। जो तंत्रिका तंत्र है उसमें प्रमस्तिष्क गुच्छिका के अलावा जो पार्श्व भाग है वहां पर पार्श्व भाग में तंत्रिका रज्जु है, और दोनों पार्श्व की तंत्रिका रज्जु आपस में जो तंत्रिका अनुप्रस्थ तंत्रिकाएं हैं उनके द्वारा जुड़ी रहती हैं और एक सीढ़ी नुमा संरचना बनाती हैं। This is the structure of the mouth and everted pharynx, which is highly muscular, as I told you earlier on. Now about the second class, Trematoda, the flukes. Flukes require 2 or more hosts for complete development. They have a definitive host where sexually reproducing flukes lives. The intermediate host includes the intermediate larva and asexual form which form the cyst or encystment is common in them. The body is unsegmented and dorsoventrally flattened just like a leaf. The tegument is thick but without cilia and rhabdites. The alimentary canal with anterior mouth and the pharynx is simple, unlike Turbellarians where pharynx is muscular. Here the pharynx is simple and there are 2 branches of alimentary canal which bears the ceca on both the sides. The development includes numerous larval stages in which encystment is very common. जो ट्रेमेटोड हैं, जो फ्लूक हैं, उनके अंदर क्या होता है, एक निश्चित परपोषी और एक इंटरमीडिएट परपोषी होता है। शरीर उनका खंडीभवन का अभाव होता है उसमें, और पृष्ठ अधर सतह से चपटा पत्ती के समान संरचना होती है। जो बाह्य अधिचर्म है वो मोटी होती है, उसमें पक्षमाम और रैप्टाइड का अभाव होता है। आहार नाल के अंदर केवल अग्र में एक मुख होता है, और जो ग्रसनी है वो बिल्कुल सरल प्रकार की होती है, और जो आंत है फिर 2 भागों में विभाजित हो जाती है। जो परिवर्धन है वो अप्रत्यक्ष होता है और उसमें कई लार्वा अवस्थाएं पाई जाती हैं। This is the basic structure of a liver fluke. You can see the oral sucker below which the pharynx, then the bifid intestine is there, the ventral sucker is there, then the gonopore. They are hermaphrodite. You can see the presence of both the sexual organs including the ovary and the testes. The testes is anterior and posteriorly situated, so there is presence of the anterior testes and posterior testes. Apart from it, the vas deferens is there, and other basic structures of female reproductive system include ovary, oviduct, the Laurel's canal, the vital area portion, the uterus and seminal vesicle, and finally the presence of the gonopore. The parasitic life cycle of the flukes include the simple, in some cases where there is only one host, where there is multiple hosts, the sexually reproductive stages of parasite. The intermediate host contains the asexually reproducing stages, the larval stages of the parasite. The parasitic adaptation include the syncytial tegument, the loss of centralized nervous system. जो परिजीवी है, परिजीवी के अनुसार ट्रिमेटोड के अंदर अनुकूलन पाया जाता है. The decreased digestive and excretory system. The definite host include the mammals, reptiles and birds. Intermediate hosts include the arthropod, gastropod and fish. The adult fluke live in the liver, bile duct and respiratory tract, or even in the blood. The miracidium is generally ciliated and swimming larva. Sporocyst is asexually reproductive stage producing radia with sporocyst. The radia is the second asexual phase producing cercaria, and the cercaria is a free swimming larval form which ancested to form the metacercaria, and these metacercaria then transferred to the definitive mammalian host. This is the diagram of Fasciola hepatica. This is the blood fluid, the Cystosoma mansoni and Cystosoma japonicum, in which you can see the female is present in the gynophoric canal of the male. Then the third class, the Monogenea, as it is clear from the name. Mono means one, genea means one. Genea means the genus required to complete its life cycle. They require only one host to complete their life cycle. They have a specific posterior adhesive organ or opisthepter with sucker armed with hooks or spines. The excretory pores are usually two, separate male and female. The free swimming ciliated larva is called the Onchomiracidium, and they are external fluid generally present on the fish gills. There are no intermediate host. Monogenea अपना जीवन चक्र केवल एक परपोषी के अंदर पूर्ण करते हैं. उनके पश्च भाग में शरीर के ओपिस्थेप्टर एक विशिष्ट चिपकने के लिए अंग पाया जाता है. दो उनके अंदर एक्सक्रीटरी पोर्स होते हैं, और जो लार्वा है उनका, उसको हम ऑन्कोमिरासीडियम लार्वा कहते हैं. सामान्यतः ये जो मछलियां हैं उनके गलफड़ों से चिपके हुए पाए जाते हैं. देन द फोर्थ क्लास, द सेस्टोडा टेपवर्म, जिसके अंदर फीता कृमि आते हैं. दे लाइक ट्रिमेटोड्स हैव टू डेफिनेटिव होस्ट, वन अ कार्निवोर एंड वन अ हर्बिवोर. Generally, the carnivore feeds on the herbivore. The adults live in the intestine of the definitive host, here which is a carnivore. The larval stages ancest in the muscle of the intermediate host. The scolex is with scur or suckers or hooks or both. जो स्कॉलेक्स होता है उसमें चूषकांग पाए जाते हैं, जिसमें सकर भी हो सकता है और हुक्स भी हो सकता है और स्पाइन्स भी हो सकते हैं. The alimentary canal is generally absent because they are generally present in the alimentary canal of their definitive host. So there is no requirement to digest the food because they are absorbing the pre-digested food material from their host. This is the body plan. You can see the presence of a scolex, then a small neck portion and the trunk portion. The strobulation is there, which contains the immature, then mature, and finally the gravid proglottid. They attach via scolex. The proglottid develops from the base of the scolex. They mature reproductively and shed with feces or core from the anal opening. This is the life cycle of human tapeworm, with the pig as their intermediate host. And whenever the human feed on measly pork or uncooked pork, the hexacanth of the taenia is transmitted to the human body. This is the cestode organ, which includes the proglottid mature as an egg sac. You can see the opening, genital openings, the Malleus gland, the vitelline gland, sperm gland, excretory canal, and testes and ovaries. This is the comparison between Taenia solium and Taenia saginata. And with this, I finishes my lecture on Platyhelminthes. Thank you.